My name is Bill McHugh. I cover all the Northampton postal codes, and I've been with the company this week exactly 1 year. Not immediately before, but I've been in retail for the best part of 35 years over here, and that's been in the furniture industry. So I've been anything from a salesperson on the shop floor up to running regions, and been a regional manager for one company, operations manager, so one under the MD in another furniture company. So very customer facing, used to train sales as well as doing selling myself. So something in terms of customer facing when I was looking at a franchise was certainly something I was going to do. And the sector that I looked at was home improvement, because I seen people spending tons of money, you know, on furniture, suites, wardrobes, bedrooms when I was out in the retail sector and furniture. It was my wife that discovered Kitchen Makeovers, because we've been talking about having our own franchise for a while. We did quite a bit of research on it. You know, we did our due diligence, and a lot of the comments that were coming out of the existing franchisees was very positive. We then had our video interview with Will, and again, he came across very, very well. And that's why we jumped into it. And the good thing about Kitchen Makeovers, where you had people on call, which was great. I could pick up the phone to Will, I could pick up the phone to Matt and John. Quite comprehensive induction into the business as well. They got us out into factory visits straight away. And one of the more valuable aspects of the initial training was going out with you know, an experienced salesperson and fitter from Harpenden office, visiting their customers, seeing how they were putting the sale together, bringing the samples in, how they talked to the customers. That was Colin I went out with, and that's stood me in good stead to today. So initially a little bit overwhelming. I put that pressure on myself. After that, I think it was probably only about 3 weeks, maybe 4, where I found my stride. Confidence came back, and really haven't looked back since then. As we're tied into BA, having John in the business, who used to be a big cog in their particular wheel, having that innate knowledge of the BA side of things, which is the mainstay of the business with all of the doors, been able to pick the phone up to John as well. That was nice having that. There is support there, there is compliance there, there is other aspects to traditional management there, but if you know, it's not mandatory, but it's there if you need it. Now, I've come from a sales and management background, so I don't need as much as, say, some other new starters, and I've been given the flexibility to say thanks but no thanks, which has been nice, because the biggest driver for me coming into this business was self-determination. Not having to tick all the boxes that you normally have to do within a corporate entity, yeah, and to drive my own business my way, because there's no better motivator than paying the mortgage, making sure the kids can have the holidays they want and whatever else, and you're only answerable to yourself, which has been very nice. I used to run around and run 32 stores, yeah, for a very well-known national company, furniture stores, and I'd be out to all hours, I'd be working weekends, I'd come back in, and I'd earn a decent salary, actually quite a high salary, but at the end of the day, the feeling was, I'm doing this for other people and they're making more money than I am. You've got that kind of innate resentment. Whereas now, I can see a direct line from the effort I'm putting into what's coming out the back end. So I suppose the security is there, which is nice. And I'm seeing what I feel is a comparable reward for the effort I'm putting in. And as you say, it's right. You know, you want a bigger holiday, you want a different car, you want to put an extension on the house, well, you put more time and more effort in. And there's an equal correlation to the amount of effort you're putting into what you're getting out of it. When we sat down for the initial training, part of that was set out some expectations, and my expectation in terms of what I would be happy with, although maybe a little bit of disappointment there, would have been 350k, you know, in the first year, taking into account maybe a bit of a slow start and running on. I started in July, which I've been told is traditionally one of the slowest months, yeah, but that picks up towards the end. So my aspirational target was around about the 400k to 450k, and if you look at it as a year on year, but not financial year. So July to July. So looking at it now, I've done 500,000. So that's a milestone we've reached. Midterm would be to end up somewhere in the second or third year on the outside, around about your 750, heading towards 1 million. I started off with 1 fitter and I now employ 3. So I've managed to look at how it's repeatable, and I've been successful, touch a bit of wood so far, in being able to repeat, because I see each fitter as a business centre and I can just bolt on as many as I need as long as I can keep spinning the plates on that one. Well, coming from my perspective, and I came into this business with no kitchen experience whatsoever, so I don't have any fear with, do you know the product? Some of my colleagues have never experienced sales before, and they've all, after a couple of weeks, been able to deal with that fact, because there's plenty of experience out there and it helps and hints. In a nutshell, why should you pick, Kitchen Makeovers? Very supportive company in terms of the background, support if you need it. You're given a tailor-made kind of support system dependent on the tools that you bring to the business. Self-determination is the big thing for me, and I've certainly been allowed that. This is my business, and it's very clear that it is my business. There's no big brother trying to oversee everything with you. And for me, you get out what you're putting into it. It's not an armchair business. Don't come into it and think it can just sit there and run by itself. It doesn't. You have to get involved. You have to get out there and put the hours in. You have to spend money on marketing to make sure that the leads come in so you can go and convert them. But persevere is what I would say. Persevere, and for me anyway, it was within a month. Most people, it's within 2 to 3 months, if you've made the right decision. And there's nobody that I spoke to in the business that feels they've made a poor decision. And I looked at a number of franchises, and I've spoke to people who have jumped into those franchises and they haven't had the same positive experience that I've had within Kitchen Makeovers. So I definitely recommend it. So much so that one of my next milestones, hopefully for next year, if I can increase the business, I'm going to look at another region.